Have you ever thought that the smallest actions in your life, those that seem so ordinary, could carry far more power than you realize? What if every smile you gave, every glance you exchanged, and every word you spoke was actually a calculated move, shaping the course of your destiny in ways you couldn't have imagined? Welcome to the world of the Chosen One, a world where what appears ordinary is anything but. The Chosen One is someone who has transcended the realm of reaction and instead stepped into the realm of strategic awareness. You see, most people go through life reacting to what happens around them, their actions driven by instinct, emotion, and circumstance. They don't see the patterns, the invisible forces that shape every choice and every moment. But you, the Chosen One, are different. You're learning to see what others don't. You're becoming someone who can play chess like a god, but still smile like a human. Now, you might be thinking, what does that mean? Let me explain. Imagine a chess game. Each move requires strategy, foresight, and patience. But the game is not won by rushing to make the next move or acting impulsively. No, the game is won by seeing the board in its entirety, by understanding how each piece interacts with the others, how timing and position matter more than any single move. What if life too could be approached with this same clarity, where every decision you make is part of a greater calculated strategy? What if, by simply appearing human, by smiling, you were already setting the stage for something greater? That's what the Chosen One is learning. They understand that every ordinary action, every pause, every word, every gesture carries extraordinary significance. They don't need to force their way through life because they know that the world responds to them in ways others can't comprehend. They've mastered the art of patience and strategy, of turning small, seemingly insignificant actions into monumental results. This is the shift that you are experiencing. It's the shift from wanting to having, from guessing to knowing. It's not about being the loudest in the room or constantly chasing after the next big thing. Instead, it's about realizing that the most powerful moves are often the quiet ones. The Chosen One is someone who has learned that in the stillness, in the subtle moments of life, power is quietly being accumulated. So let me ask you this. What if you could move through life with this level of awareness? What if every action you took was calculated, every word you spoke had weight, and every look you gave shifted the energy around you? Imagine how much control you would have, not over others, but over yourself, your decisions, your life. That's what the Chosen One has realized. Life isn't about reacting to what's happening. It's about seeing what's happening before it unfolds and strategically positioning yourself for success. But here's the thing. This level of awareness doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice, patience, and a deep understanding of yourself and the world around you. It's a shift in perspective, one that requires you to stop reacting impulsively to every challenge and instead learn to see the bigger picture. When you do, you'll find that the world begins to respond to you before you even speak. Pressure, isolation, opposition. They no longer feel like obstacles. They become tools that sharpen your clarity, your influence, and your timing. Now, before we dive deeper into this journey of transformation, I want you to take a moment and engage with this message. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and leave 11 inches in the comments below. This simple act is more than just a gesture. It primes your mind and signals your readiness to receive the insights that will change the way you think, decide, and move through life. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn will make the world around you feel like a chessboard, and you will be the only player who can see the next 10 moves. Every day, we make countless decisions: what to wear, what to eat, how to spend our time. These choices often seem mundane, even trivial. But what if I told you that every action you take is part of a greater hidden strategy? What if the small, seemingly insignificant moments of your life could be the key to unlocking extraordinary outcomes? The shift from ordinary to extraordinary begins with this realization that the power to transform your life lies not in the big dramatic events, but in the subtle, everyday decisions you make with awareness. For most people, life unfolds in a series of reactive moments. We find ourselves responding to circumstances, reacting to challenges, and going through the motions without truly understanding the forces at play. We live on autopilot, our decisions influenced by emotions, impulses, or societal expectations. Rarely do we pause to consider the patterns that shape our choices, the invisible threads that pull us in certain directions, or the way our actions ripple through time. In this reactive state, we are like players on a chessboard, moving the pieces without ever understanding the strategy behind the game. But you, the chosen one, are awakening to something greater. You're beginning to see beyond the surface. You're stepping into a level of awareness where every small action becomes a calculated move, every word spoken a deliberate choice. What once seemed like chance or coincidence, you now recognize as part of a larger plan, your plan. This is the shift from merely guessing what comes next to knowing with certainty. This is the moment when desire evolves into mastery. The difference between living reactively and living strategically is profound. When we are caught in a cycle of reaction, we are at the mercy of the world around us. Our emotions, our circumstances, and the actions of others control our responses. In this state, we are constantly chasing after external validation, approval, and success, often without understanding why we want those things or how to get them. This cycle is driven by desire, the longing for something more, something better, something different. But desire alone doesn't create change. It can push us forward, but without awareness, it's like running toward a destination without a map. Desire can cloud our judgment and lead us down paths that only offer temporary satisfaction. The true shift happens when desire is transformed into something more, when it evolves into knowledge, foresight, and strategy. This transition from guessing to knowing, from desire to mastery, is what defines the chosen one. It's the moment when you stop simply wishing for a better life and start taking deliberate steps toward it. You become a master of your own decisions, an architect of your own reality. When you operate from this place of strategic awareness, life begins to bend to your will, not through force, but through alignment. How does this shift happen? Neuroscience offers an intriguing perspective. One of the most powerful concepts in the brain's decision-making process is something known as layered decision-making. This refers to the brain's ability to process information on multiple levels at once, weighing immediate responses against long-term outcomes. Most people make decisions based on surface-level reactions, acting impulsively or emotionally. But those who operate with awareness are able to engage the brain's deeper decision-making layers, considering not just the immediate consequences, but the far-reaching impact of their actions. This ability to see beyond the surface is what allows the chosen one to move through life with precision, turning even the smallest actions into powerful strategic moves. Philosophers have long discussed the importance of foresight, seeing what lies ahead before it unfolds. This is not a mystical ability, but a deeply human skill that can be cultivated with practice. Foresight requires the capacity to observe without judgment, to step back from the chaos of the moment and consider the bigger picture. It's the ability to look at a situation and see the patterns at play, understanding how your actions will ripple through time and space. It's a skill that separates the master from the beginner, the strategist from the reactive thinker. The chosen one is learning to cultivate this foresight. Instead of being swept up by emotions or circumstances, they are observing the game of life from a higher vantage point. They are no longer driven by impulsive desires, but by a quiet understanding of how the world works, how people move, and how every choice creates a consequence. They know that their actions, no matter how small, are part of a larger strategy that is slowly but surely unfolding. As you begin to see life from this perspective, you'll notice the shift within yourself. What once seemed like a random series of events now appears to have purpose. What once felt like a constant struggle to achieve your desires now feels like a clear path to mastery. You'll realize that the decisions you make every day, the words you speak, the way you carry yourself, the choices you make in your personal and professional life are all part of a greater strategy, a strategy that only you have the power to shape. This shift is not just about becoming more aware of your actions. It's about understanding the unseen forces that guide them. It's about seeing the invisible threads that connect you to your past, present, and future, and learning how to pull them in the direction you want to go. It's about realizing that just like a chess player, every move you make matters. Each decision, no matter how small, can be the key to unlocking something extraordinary. The chosen one is not someone who simply reacts to life. They are the ones who shape it. And it all begins with awareness. It all begins with seeing the patterns, understanding the consequences, and taking the steps necessary to move with purpose. The shift from ordinary to extraordinary is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process of learning, observing, and mastering the art of living strategically. And the more you embrace this shift, the more you'll realize that the power to shape your reality has always been in your hands. You just had to see it. As the chosen one continues to awaken to the deeper layers of reality, there is one profound realization that emerges. The true power lies not just in the actions themselves, but in the timing of those actions. When you begin to understand that every small move, every choice, and every pause has the potential to shift the trajectory of your life, you realize that the most strategic individuals are not simply acting. They are waiting, observing, and listening to the world around them. Timing is everything. It is the difference between reacting impulsively and responding with calculated precision. Most people trapped in the cycle of reaction don't understand the subtle forces at play in every situation. They rush through life making decisions without pausing to consider their timing. In their rush to act, they overlook the critical moments when doing nothing is the most powerful choice. To the untrained eye, it may appear that they are merely standing still, doing nothing, but in reality, they are mastering the art of timing. They are waiting for the perfect moment to move, ensuring that when they finally do take action, it will be in alignment with the energy of the situation, making it far more effective and impactful. This is the essence of mastery. It's not just about knowing what to do, but knowing when to do it. Life, like a game of chess, unfolds with a rhythm, and those who understand the timing of the game have the power to influence it. The chosen one is learning to be in harmony with this rhythm. They understand that every moment is an opportunity to observe, to gather information, and to wait for the perfect alignment. They know that nothing is more powerful than the ability to move when the time is right, to act with precision and purpose, and to know that every decision will land exactly where it needs to, without the chaos or rush of impulsive action. At this stage of transformation, the chosen one learns to observe life with a new lens. Where others may see setbacks, delays, or frustrations, they see these moments as opportunities to gain further insight, refine their approach, and align themselves more closely with their true purpose. The key to mastering timing lies in patience and understanding. The chosen one doesn't just react. They step back, observe, and see how the world is shifting around them. They recognize that some situations require immediate action, while others require restraint. In both cases, their mastery comes from their ability to discern the right course of action and wait for the moment when it will have the greatest impact. Neuroscience offers a fascinating insight into this concept through the study of layered decision-making, a process in which the brain weighs multiple factors and layers of information before making a decision. Most people operate on a more superficial level, making decisions based on immediate reactions and surface-level information. But those who master timing engage a deeper, more deliberate process. They pause, allowing their brain to process the situation on a deeper level, and only then do they take action. This process doesn't come naturally to everyone, but it can be cultivated over time with practice and awareness. This concept of layered decision-making ties directly into the philosophical idea of foresight, the ability to see what is coming before it arrives. It's not just about predicting the future, but about preparing for it with the kind of insight and understanding that allows you to navigate life's challenges with precision. The chosen one has developed this foresight, learning to see patterns and consequences before they unfold. This is a skill that goes beyond intellect. It is about attuning oneself to the subtle rhythms of life, understanding the interconnectedness of all things, and knowing when to make your move. But timing isn't just about waiting for the right moment. It's also about recognizing when action is required. This balance between patience and action is the essence of strategic thinking. The chosen one learns that action without awareness leads to wasted energy, while waiting without action leads to missed opportunities. The key is knowing when to strike and when to hold back, when to be visible and when to remain in the shadows. This awareness of timing creates a fluid, dynamic approach to life, where every move counts and every moment is leveraged for maximum impact. In the process of mastering timing, the chosen one understands that life is not about controlling every outcome, but about guiding the flow of energy around them. Just as a chess player carefully positions their pieces, the chosen one positions themselves within the world, ensuring that their actions are always in alignment with the greater forces at play. They know that their success is not merely the result of personal will, but of understanding how to work in harmony with the universe itself. The more the chosen one practices this art of timing, the more they realize that they are no longer a passive participant in the game of life. They become the strategist, the one who sees the moves before they are made, who understands the consequences before they unfold. This sense of foresight and precision transforms their life into a series of deliberate, impactful decisions, each building on the last to create a momentum of success and mastery. Timing is power, and when you begin to understand its rhythm, when you master the art of observation, restraint, and action, you will find that life no longer feels chaotic or unpredictable. You will no longer be caught off guard by circumstances or overwhelmed by the demands of the world. Instead, you'll move through life with purpose, clarity, and confidence, knowing that every step you take is a step toward your destiny. So as you continue your journey as a chosen one, remember this: every moment is an opportunity to observe, to listen, and to align yourself with the greater flow of life. Timing is your most powerful ally. And when you learn to master it, you will find that the game of life is no longer a struggle, but a dance, a beautifully orchestrated series of moves leading you to your highest potential. In the world of the Chosen One, there's a quiet, almost unnoticed power in simplicity. It's the power of blending in, of moving unnoticed through the chaos of life, and yet all the while seeing everything with clarity. This power is encapsulated in something as simple yet as profound as a smile. It may seem like an innocuous gesture, something we all do, something we all expect from others. But when employed strategically, the smile becomes a powerful tool, a form of camouflage, a way to appear harmless and stay underestimated while quietly observing the world around you. Imagine this. In a world that often rewards boldness, where everyone is clamoring to be seen and heard, the Chosen One knows that there is power in appearing ordinary and showing nothing more than a friendly, approachable face. The smile is not a sign of weakness. It's a form of strategic masking, an art of appearing non-threatening while in reality gathering vital information. By appearing harmless, the Chosen One reduces the resistance they face, allowing them to move freely, to gather insights, and to operate without being noticed. In this way, the Chosen One remains one step ahead, acting without drawing unnecessary attention, all the while understanding exactly how the game is being played. This technique is rooted in psychology, particularly a concept known as social masking. Social masking is a survival response where individuals deliberately appear harmless to reduce resistance or avoid drawing attention. In this context, the Chosen One understands that when they smile, they are not just offering kindness, they are hiding their true intentions, their strategic depth, and their underlying power. By masking their true thoughts and emotions, they disarm suspicion, making it easier to navigate the world without triggering defensive reactions or unnecessary conflict. This allows them to operate more freely, to observe more closely, and to engage more effectively when the time is right. Think about it this way. Nature itself offers a powerful metaphor. The strongest predators in the animal kingdom don't roar before making their move. They move quietly, almost invisibly, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Lions, for example, don't announce their presence as they approach their prey. Instead, they stalk silently through the grass, their movements calculated and precise until the moment comes when they strike with deadly accuracy. They use the element of surprise, blending in with their surroundings, masking their true intentions until the time for action arrives. Humans in this regard are no different. We too possess the ability to mask our strength, to appear less threatening than we truly are. The Chosen One understands this instinctively. They know that by smiling, by appearing friendly and approachable, they can lower the defenses of those around them. People are naturally inclined to project innocence onto those who appear harmless, who smile easily, speak lightly, and maintain restraint. The Chosen One uses this to their advantage, allowing them to blend into their environment while observing the dynamics of power, influence, and hierarchy without drawing attention. This ability to remain underestimated is one of the greatest tools at the disposal of the strategist. When others underestimate you, they reveal more than they realize. They become less guarded, more open, and less likely to withhold crucial information. The Chosen One, operating from this position of underestimation, has the freedom to gather intelligence without the interference of others' expectations or judgments. In a world where most people are too busy asserting their dominance or protecting their interests, the Chosen One has learned to move through the shadows, gathering information and insights that will serve them when the time comes to make their move. Underestimation in many ways is the strategist's secret weapon. It gives the chosen one the ability to move in silence, to observe without interference, and to make decisions based on knowledge that others are too blind to see. This is not manipulation for manipulation's sake. It's a form of self-preservation in a world that is often chaotic and unpredictable. By appearing harmless, the chosen one buys time to observe, to gather information, and to understand the true nature of those around them. In this way, underestimation becomes an advantage, a tool for gathering power, without alerting others to its presence. But the true genius of this strategy lies in the fact that the chosen one can hold back, mask their true strength, and still remain in controls. While others react impulsively, acting from ego or emotion, the chosen one moves with purpose and precision. They are not swayed by external pressures or distractions. Instead, they rely on their ability to think strategically, to bide their time, and to wait for the perfect moment to make their move. In the world of the chosen, patience is not a passive quality. It is an active, deliberate practice. The smile, the mask, the restraint, they are all part of a larger strategy, a strategy of moving through the world quietly and deliberately, waiting for the right moment to act, and then making their move with unmatched clarity and precision. At this level of mastery, the chosen one has learned to see the world not through the lens of external validation or recognition, but through the lens of strategic awareness. They understand that the most powerful moves are often the ones that don't make a sound. The most decisive victories are the ones that appear effortless, almost unfair, to those who are not attuned to the game being played. This is the power of the smile, as camouflage, a strategic masking that allows the chosen one to move undetected, gather knowledge, and wait for the perfect moment to act. So the next time you smile, remember that it is not just an expression of warmth or kindness. It is a powerful tool, a calculated move in the larger game of life. By mastering the art of strategic masking, you unlock a new level of awareness and influence, one that allows you to move through life with precision, patience, and purpose. In this quiet mastery, the world will come to recognize your presence not because you demanded it, but because you have learned to move with grace, strength, and intelligence, unnoticed, yet always in control. There is a common misconception in the world that the chosen one is someone who has escaped hardship, someone who has sidestepped the challenges and struggles that life throws at most people. But this could not be further from the truth. The chosen one does not avoid pressure. They embrace it. In fact, their transformation arises not from the absence of adversity, but from their ability to absorb it, to learn from it, and to emerge stronger, clearer, and more capable. Pressure does not break the chosen one. It refines them, shaping their mind, their decisions, and their very essence. For most people, the pressure of life can feel overwhelming, like a constant weight on their shoulders, something to avoid or escape. But the chosen one understands that pressure is not the enemy, it is the teacher. They see every challenge, every hardship as an opportunity for growth. Rather than being crushed by the weight of the world, they are shaped by it. They absorb the lessons that pressure brings, using each experience to build resilience, sharpen their mind, and clarify their purpose. This ability to transform under pressure is rooted in the brain's remarkable capacity to adapt. Neuroscience reveals something fascinating. Our brains have a unique mechanism called stress-adapted cognition. This process refers to how the brain rewires itself when faced with prolonged challenges, sharpening its ability to anticipate, strategize, and make decisions. When life becomes difficult, the brain doesn't shut down or retreat. It strengthens itself, building new neural pathways that enhance cognitive function and emotional control. For the chosen one, this rewiring process is not just a reaction to stress, it is an active transformation. They learn to thrive in the face of adversity, using every challenge to fuel their evolution. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, the mind of the chosen one grows sharper through pressure. Each stressful experience, each difficult moment, becomes an opportunity to expand their capacity for thought patience and resilience. Over time, this process turns challenges into stepping stones, making clarity a natural byproduct of experience. The key to this transformation lies in the ability to view pressure through a new lens. Most people see challenges as threats, something to avoid at all costs. They fear failure, discomfort, and uncertainty. But the chosen one reframes these experiences, seeing them as essential to their growth. They understand that in the crucible of pressure, their true strength is forged. When life becomes difficult, it is not a signal to retreat, yet it is a signal to advance, to embrace the lessons that are embedded within the struggle. The clarity that emerges from this process is profound. As the chosen one absorbs pressure and learns from it, their perspective on life shifts. What once felt chaotic, overwhelming, and unpredictable becomes more navigable. They begin to see the patterns in the chaos, to recognize the lessons in the discomfort, and to make decisions with greater certainty and purpose. The clarity that emerges from this process is not just mental, it is spiritual, emotional, and physical. It is the clarity that comes from knowing that no matter how difficult life gets, the chosen one has the tools to navigate it. This process of transformation is closely tied to the concept of dual process theory, a principle in behavioral science that explains how we think. The theory posits that there are two systems of thinking at play in the human mind, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, automatic, and emotional. It's the system that reacts impulsively to situations. System 2, on the other hand, is slow, deliberate, and analytical. It's the system that takes a step back and considers the bigger picture, the long-term consequences of actions. Most people rely heavily on System 1, reacting instinctively to emotion, stress, and external stimuli. When faced with pressure, they default to their emotional responses, which can often lead to rash decisions or feeling overwhelmed by the circumstances. The chosen one, however, has trained their mind to engage System 2, the slower, more deliberate system of thinking. When life gets difficult, they do not react impulsively. Instead, they pause, assess, and then respond with intention. This ability to separate emotion from decision-making is what allows the chosen one to remain calm and collected under pressure, to see through the noise, and to make strategic moves with precision. Emotional control is another critical component of this transformation. The chosen one learns to master their emotions, not by suppressing them, but by managing them. They understand that emotions are a natural part of the human experience, but they do not allow those emotions to dictate their decisions. Instead, they use their emotions as information, allowing them to inform their actions without letting them take control. This mastery of emotional control allows the chosen one to move through life with greater ease, making decisions based on logic, insight, and clarity rather than fear, anger, or stress. It is this combination of stress-adapted cognition, dual process thinking, and emotional control that sets the chosen one apart. They do not shy away from pressure, they welcome it. They do not fear discomfort, they embrace it. And in doing so, they transform the challenges of life into opportunities for growth, building a mind that is sharper, a spirit that is more resilient, and a life that is more purposeful. The true power of the chosen one lies not in their ability to avoid hardship, but in their ability to learn from it. Pressure, adversity, and stress are not obstacles. They are the catalysts for transformation. And as the chosen one continues to absorb the lessons that life brings, they will find that clarity, strength, and wisdom emerge naturally from the very pressures that once seemed overwhelming. They have learned to navigate life not by avoiding discomfort, but by using it as the fuel for their growth, shaping their mind, their decisions, and their destiny. Life, much like the game of chess, is a series of decisions, each move a calculated choice that ripples through time, shaping the outcome in ways we often can't fully predict. But those who master life, just as great chess players master the game, understand that every move has a purpose, every action carries weight, and every choice creates consequences that echo far beyond the moment. Chess is not merely a game. It is a profound simulation of life itself, reflecting the complex decisions, the sacrifices, and the careful balance of position and timing that we must navigate in our own journey. When you look at a chessboard, you see pieces strategically placed, each one with its own purpose and potential. But it's not the pieces themselves that determine the game. It's how they are moved when they are moved, and the sacrifices that are made along the way. Every piece on the board has value, but the true master knows that to win the game, sometimes you must sacrifice a piece, allowing it to be taken for the greater good of the long-term strategy. This is the essence of life as a chosen one. The chosen one understands that some sacrifices are necessary, that not every moment is a battle to be won immediately, but rather a step toward a greater, more profound victory. Great strategists throughout history have studied chess to understand the deeper principles of timing, position, and sacrifice. The game has been a training ground for some of the most brilliant minds, from military generals to business leaders, who have recognized that the lessons learned on the chessboard are just as applicable to real-life decisions. In chess, as in life, the true power lies not in reacting impulsively, but in thinking several steps ahead, anticipating the consequences of each move, and understanding that success often requires delayed gratification and careful positioning. When you play chess, every move you make either brings you closer to victory or pushes you further from your goal. It is the same in life. The decisions you make today shape the path you will walk tomorrow. The chosen one understands this on a profound level. They recognize that every action, no matter how small, has the potential to influence the direction of their life. And they know that not all decisions will pay off immediately. Sometimes you must sacrifice something in the short term to achieve a greater goal in the future. This is the true art of strategy, the ability to see beyond the present moment, to recognize the bigger picture, and to make decisions that will pay off in the long run. The idea of sacrifice is not just about losing something, it's about creating space for something greater. In chess, players often sacrifice a piece to create a more favorable position later in the game. Similarly in life, the chosen one knows that some choices, whether they be personal, professional, or emotional, require giving up something now to gain something more significant later. It could be sacrificing comfort for growth, or sacrificing immediate gratification for long-term success. The key is to have the foresight to see that the sacrifice is not an end, but a means to an end. By making these difficult, often uncomfortable choices, the chosen one positions themselves for success on a much grander scale. This is where responsibility comes into play. The chosen one understands that life is not a series of random events, but a complex system of cause and effect. Every action they take, every decision they make, carries responsibility. Responsibility for the consequences of their actions, for the direction of their life, and for the impact they have on others. But with this responsibility comes great power. The ability to shape your own destiny, to make decisions that align with your purpose and values, and to act with the long term in mind is a powerful gift. And just as in chess, the chosen one knows that responsibility also means accepting the consequences of those decisions, good or bad, and learning from them. The importance of delayed gratification is another key lesson drawn from the game of chess. In life, as in chess, immediate rewards often cloud our judgment, pushing us toward hasty decisions that feel satisfying in the moment, but leave us with regret later. But the chosen one has learned the art of patience. They understand that true success rarely comes overnight. It's the result of consistent, calculated efforts over time. They know that sometimes the best move is to wait to bide your time and to make your decision at the perfect moment. Delayed gratification is a powerful tool, one that allows the chosen one to maintain clarity and focus, even when the world around them pushes for instant results. Understanding long-term consequences is another lesson that chess teaches us about life. Every move in chess has a far-reaching impact, not just in the moment, but in the unfolding of the entire game. Similarly, every decision in life shapes the course of our future. The chosen one knows that success is not just about what happens today, but about what they are building for tomorrow. They understand that the little choices they make now, how they spend their time, the relationships they nurture, the goals they pursue, will compound over time, leading to either growth or stagnation. And they make their decisions accordingly, with the wisdom to see that today's sacrifice is tomorrow's victory. As the chosen one continues to navigate life, they understand that chess is not just a metaphor for decision-making. It is a training ground for mastery. Life, like chess, is full of positions, timing, and sacrifices. The chosen one has learned to play the game with intention, to think several moves ahead, and to understand that the most strategic moves are often the ones that require patience, sacrifice, and clarity. They know that the ultimate victory is not about defeating others, but about mastering themselves, their choices, and their destiny. So when life feels like a battle, remember this: you are not just playing a game. You are shaping your future with every move you make. And like the greatest chess masters, the chosen one knows that sometimes the most powerful move is the one that waits for the right moment. In the fast-paced world we live in, there is an overwhelming urge to act quickly, to respond immediately, to jump at every opportunity that presents itself. But the chosen one understands that true mastery is not about speed or reaction. It is about restraint and patience. The most powerful decisions are often the ones made after careful consideration, the ones that emerge from a place of calm, not chaos. In the moments when others panic, when the pressure mounts and emotions run high, the chosen one remains still. They allow themselves the space to think, to analyze, and to choose their actions with deliberate precision. Mastery comes not from reacting to the world, but from controlling your response to it. In the face of challenges, the chosen one knows that the power lies not in rushing to solve the problem, but in waiting, observing, and making decisions from a place of clear, focused intention. This is the essence of strategic thinking, the ability to delay action and allow your thoughts to catch up with the situation. The true strength of the chosen one lies in their ability to resist the impulse to act out of fear, urgency, or excitement. Instead, they wait for the right moment, the perfect alignment, when their action will have the greatest impact. When others around you are reacting impulsively, driven by their emotions, or the pressure of the moment, you will find that the space you create by holding back becomes a powerful tool. It is in these moments of pause, of silence, that the chosen one sees what others cannot. They are able to read the room, to understand the unspoken dynamics at play, and to move with the kind of clarity and foresight that others miss. This is not just about waiting for the right moment to act, it's about creating the conditions for success. The chosen one knows that sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful choice they can make. This ability to remain calm, even when the world around you is spiraling into chaos, is rooted in the brain's remarkable capacity for restraint. Neurological studies show that when we experience stress or pressure, our brains are flooded with impulses. Our fight or flight response kicks in, urging us to act immediately. But the chosen one has learned to suppress these impulses, to delay action until the brain has had time to process the situation more thoroughly. This process of restraint allows for more thoughtful, deliberate decision-making, and it is this ability to control impulse that gives the chosen one their edge. In fact, the brain's role in suppressing impulse is essential to mastering restraint. Our brains are wired for quick responses, particularly in high-stress situations. This instinctual, fast-thinking system, known as System 1 in dual-process theory, operates automatically, making decisions based on emotions and immediate sensory input. However, this system can often lead to reactive, impulsive decisions that are not always in our best interest. This is where restraint comes in. The chosen one engages their brain's more deliberate analytical system. System 2. System 2 is slower, more reflective, and operates with a higher level of reasoning. It allows for deeper thought and consideration, enabling the chosen one to make decisions based not on instinct, but on strategy. By engaging System 2, the chosen one can resist the pull of System 1's immediate reactions, which often come from fear, stress, or desire. They understand that not every situation requires a quick response. In fact, the most effective responses are often the ones that come after a period of reflection. Restraint and patience give the chosen one the space to process the situation, to step outside of the emotional noise, and to make decisions that are aligned with their long-term vision. In these moments of pause, they gain control over their environment, positioning themselves as a calm-centered force amidst the chaos. The power of slow decision-making lies in the control it brings. When you take the time to reflect, to assess, and to plan, you gain a sense of agency that others do not have. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the one who is actively shaping those circumstances. The chosen one knows that haste is often a trap. When you act without thinking, you give away your power to the situation. You allow external forces to dictate your choices. But when you slow down, when you take the time to make deliberate decisions, you regain control. You become the one who shapes the environment, who sets the pace, who makes the rules. Restraint and patience also give the chosen one the clarity to see beyond the immediate. When the pressure is on, when everyone around you is reacting, it can be difficult to see the bigger picture. But by remaining calm, by waiting for the right moment, the chosen one can see the long-term consequences of their decisions. They understand that the decisions they make today will ripple through time, shaping their future in ways they may not fully realize in the moment. In this way, patience is not just a form of restraint, it is a form of foresight. The chosen one has the wisdom to recognize that sometimes the most powerful move is the one that doesn't need to be made right away. The ability to delay action, to remain still while others rush, is one of the greatest strengths of the chosen one. It is not about inaction, it is about strategic action. It is about waiting for the right moment when everything aligns and the impact of your actions will be felt more deeply. By practicing restraint and patience, the chosen one gains a level of control that others cannot access. They are not reactive but responsive. They are not swept up by the moment, but shape the moment with intention. In this way, restraint becomes a powerful tool of influence. It is not weakness, but strength. It is not passivity, but active mastery over the self and the environment. The chosen one knows that the most powerful moves are often the ones that take time, the ones that come after careful reflection and deliberate thought. And in the stillness of restraint, they discover the greatest power of all, the ability to choose when, where, and how to move with precision and purpose. As you continue to embody the essence of the chosen one, remember, this patience is not passive waiting. It is active preparation. By mastering restraint, you gain the clarity to see the world as it truly is, not as it appears in the heat of the moment. You learn to move with purpose, to act with precision, and to control the environment rather than be controlled by it. Patience is not just about slowing down. It is about understanding that true power comes from being able to wait for the right moment and knowing exactly when that moment arrives. At a certain point in the journey of the chosen one, something profound begins to shift. It is the realization that life, like a game, is not about competing for outcomes. It is about designing the game itself. The chosen one begins to transcend the very system they once played within, no longer reacting to the rules or boundaries that others try to impose. Instead, they become the architect of their own reality, shifting the dynamics around them with ease and precision, not through force, but through influence. In this space, competition no longer holds the same value, and success is no longer defined by who can outlast or outperform others. It is defined by who can shape the environment itself. This evolution is the true hallmark of mastery. The chosen one moves beyond the limitations of external competition, understanding that the game is not about winning in the traditional sense. It's about designing an environment where success is inevitable, where outcomes align with their intentions. They stop reacting to circumstances and instead create the conditions that allow them to thrive. In doing so, they realize that the greatest victories are not the ones that require struggle or conflict, but the ones that arise naturally, effortlessly, from a deep understanding of how to shape their world. The first step in this evolution is letting go of the mindset that life is a competition. For most people, the world is a place of constant comparison where every decision, every action is driven by the need to outperform others, to prove oneself worthy, or to win approval. This competitive mentality fuels the desire for validation, the chase for success, and the need to constantly measure up against others. But the chosen one knows that this mindset is a trap, one that keeps them in a constant state of reaction, always responding to external pressures rather than designing their own path. When you stop competing, you stop measuring your success by the standards of others. Instead, you begin to define success on your own terms, using your own metrics, your own values, and your own vision. The chosen one shifts from being a participant in the system to becoming the creator of the system itself. They stop reacting to the world and start designing it in a way that aligns with their highest purpose and goals. This is not an act of control, but an act of alignment. The chosen one understands how to align themselves with the forces of the universe, with the flow of life, so that success becomes a natural byproduct of their existence, not something that requires constant struggle or force. The power of this evolution lies in the ability to shape environments rather than compete for outcomes. While others chase success by trying to outperform or outlast their competition, the chosen one knows that the true secret to lasting success is in creating an environment where success is inevitable. This involves setting the stage, aligning the right people, resources, and opportunities, and then allowing the natural flow of energy to guide everything toward a favorable outcome. When you shape your environment, you create a system that works for you rather than against you. Shaping environments involves more than just strategic planning. It requires a deep understanding of human nature, energy, and timing. The chosen one has learned how to read situations, how to gauge the energy in the room, and how to influence the direction of events without force. They do not rely on manipulation or coercion. Instead, they use influence subtle, deliberate, and powerful to create the conditions that favor their goals. This influence is not about asserting dominance. It's about aligning with the natural flow of things, understanding the patterns at play, and positioning oneself in a way that allows those patterns to work in their favor. Achieving influence without force is one of the most powerful skills the chosen one can develop. In a world where power is often associated with aggression, control, and dominance, the chosen one understands that true influence comes from quiet strength, from the ability to move with grace, from the power of presence rather than the force of action. They have learned to control their own energy, to maintain composure, and to project a sense of authority without ever needing to raise their voice or make a grand display. This is the essence of non-reactive power, the ability to exert influence without force, to shape outcomes without creating friction. The chosen one knows that real power does not come from fighting against others. It comes from aligning oneself with the greater flow of life. They are no longer caught up in the struggle for dominance or external validation. Instead, they focus on aligning their thoughts, actions, and intentions with their highest purpose. And in doing so, they create an environment where success, abundance, and fulfillment are inevitable. This alignment is what allows them to transcend competition, to stop reacting to the pressures of the world, and to step into their true power as creators, not competitors. As the chosen one moves beyond competition, they also begin to understand that true influence is not about forcing others to follow, but about inspiring them to rise. They have learned to lead through example, to embody the qualities they wish to see in others, and to create a space where people are naturally drawn to their vision. The chosen one becomes a magnet for those who resonate with their energy, their purpose, and their mission. In this way, they don't need to compete for attention or recognition. It comes naturally as others are drawn to their strength, clarity, and vision. In the process of evolving beyond competition, the chosen one becomes the creator of their own world. They stop reacting to external pressures and start creating the conditions for success on their own terms. They shape their environment with intention, guiding their life in the direction they desire. This is the true power of the chosen one, the ability to transcend the system, to stop competing for outcomes, and to design a life that aligns with their highest purpose. So as you continue on your journey, remember this: the game you are playing is not one of competition, but of creation. The chosen one does not need to compete. They simply need to align, to design, and to shape their environment. In doing so, they move beyond the game itself, becoming the one who creates the rules, who sets the course, and who shapes the future. This is not about winning. It is about transcending the game entirely and stepping into the full power of your potential. As the chosen one rises, stepping into their power and purpose, they will inevitably encounter a phase that many fear: isolation. But this isolation is not a loss. It is a necessary and transformative process known as filtration. It is the period where where the noise of the external world quiets where distractions fade, and where the individual is left with only the most essential voices and influences. This phase is a powerful opportunity for growth, reflection, and clarity, where the chosen one can refine their focus, sharpen their intentions, and realign with their true purpose. At first, isolation may feel uncomfortable, even unsettling. The world which once seemed so full of noise, demands, and distractions now feels distant. Relationships may change, and familiar surroundings may begin to feel less fulfilling. The chosen one may find themselves withdrawn from the crowd, distanced from those who once seemed to define their life. But this period of solitude is not a punishment. It is a purification, a necessary step in the process of becoming who you are truly meant to be. In the early stages of transformation, as the chosen one rises in awareness and strength, they will begin to outgrow certain people, places, and situations. The energy that once felt harmonious now feels cluttered, and the voices that once seemed helpful now seem distracting. This is the first sign of filtration. As you step into your power, you will naturally begin to draw away from the things that no longer align with your purpose. People who are still caught in the noise of the world may no longer resonate with your energy, and those who do not understand your path may begin to question or challenge you. This is a natural process. The chosen one must learn to embrace this change, recognizing that isolation is not about loss, but about letting go of what no longer serves. Filtration, at its core, is a psychological transformation. It is the process of becoming less affected by the noise and distractions of the external world. The more the chosen one evolves, the more they begin to filter out the extraneous, the irrelevant, and the superficial. This creates space for clarity, for deep focus, and for the alignment of energy and intentions. In the early stages of this phase, it may feel lonely, as if the world is leaving you behind. But the reality is that you are not being left behind. You are being purified. You are shedding the old layers of influence and distraction, and you are emerging into a more powerful, more focused version of yourself. This isolation phase is not about being alone in a physical sense, but about being alone in your mind, your heart, and your soul. The chosen one learns to disconnect from the expectations, judgments, and opinions of others, and instead begins to listen to their own inner voice. As the noise fades, they are left with the stillness of their own thoughts, the clarity of their own vision, and the power of their own intentions. In this silence, the chosen one can reconnect with their true purpose, align with their highest values, and set their course toward their most meaningful goals. This is where true clarity is born, not from the constant input of the world, but from the quiet reflection and focus that isolation provides. At first, it may seem as though the world is turning away, but in reality, the chosen one is stepping into a space where they can truly hear their own inner wisdom. Fewer voices mean fewer distractions. The absence of external noise allows the chosen one to hear their own thoughts, to fine-tune their energy, and to focus their intentions with laser-like precision. In this phase, distractions fall away, and the chosen one's energy becomes more concentrated, more purposeful. They no longer waste energy on external validation, opinions, or judgments. Instead, they focus on their mission, their vision, and the steps they must take to manifest their purpose. The power of isolation lies in the focus it provides. When the external world becomes quieter, the chosen one's internal world becomes louder and clearer. They begin to understand themselves on a deeper level, recognizing their strengths, their weaknesses, their passions, and their purpose. They learn to trust their intuition, to follow their instincts, and to move forward with unwavering confidence. With fewer distractions, they are able to tune in to the signals of the universe, aligning themselves with the flow of life and the rhythm of their own heart. This clarity, however, is not something that happens instantly. It is a gradual process, one that requires patience and acceptance. The chosen one must embrace the discomfort of isolation, understanding that it is an essential part of their journey. It is easy to get lost in the fear of loneliness, to resist the stillness, and to cling to the noise and distractions that once felt comforting. But true strength comes when the chosen one learns to embrace the solitude, to use it as a space for inner growth, reflection, and refinement. In this phase of filtration, the chosen one becomes more attuned to their own energy and the energies around them. They begin to notice patterns in their interactions with others, recognizing which relationships fuel their growth and which ones drain their energy. They start to cultivate connections with those who support their mission, who share their vision, and who elevate their energy. As the noise fades away, the chosen one learns to surround themselves only with those who align with their purpose and goals. This creates a powerful, supportive environment that accelerates their journey toward mastery and fulfillment. The isolation phase is not a permanent state. It is a temporary, transformative process that prepares the chosen one for their next stage of growth. As they emerge from this phase, they are stronger, more focused, and more aligned with their true path. The clarity gained during this period allows the chosen one to move forward with confidence, knowing that they are no longer bound by the distractions and limitations of the past. The isolation has purified them, and they are now ready to engage with the world from a place of deep inner knowing and power. As you navigate this phase of isolation, remember this: you are not being abandoned. You are being refined. You are shedding what no longer serves you and making space for what truly matters. The voices may become fewer, but the clarity and strength that emerge will guide you toward your highest potential. Trust in the process and allow this filtration to transform you into the person you are meant to become. The journey ahead is one of deep purpose, focus, and alignment, and it all begins with embracing the solitude and silence that will lead you to your next level of greatness. As we come to the end of this journey, it's important to reflect on the path of the chosen one, not as a story of dominance, but as a story of transcendence. The chosen one is not here to compete for power or recognition. They are here to rise above the very systems and forces that others get caught up in. Their evolution is not about being the loudest or most aggressive presence in the room. It's about moving beyond the noise and mastering the art of presence. It is the quiet strength that comes from choosing engagement without being ensnared by the distractions and limitations of external forces. This evolution is the final and most profound stage of the chosen one's journey, the ability to choose engagement without being trapped by it. At the start of their path, the chosen one is like a player in the game of life, reacting to the moves of others, responding to the pressures of society, and trying to meet external expectations. But as they grow in wisdom and understanding, they begin to realize that the true power lies in stepping outside of the game itself. The chosen one no longer needs to prove themselves through competition, nor do they need to react to the world around them. Instead, they engage with life consciously, with intention shaping their path, as they go without being driven by the demands or judgments of others. This final evolution is about understanding the difference between being part of the system and transcending it. The chosen one does not become a passive observer detached from the world around them. Instead, they become an active participant who influences the systems they encounter without being controlled by them. This shift happens when they stop seeing the external world as a series of obstacles to overcome and start viewing it as a canvas on which they can paint their own masterpiece. The chosen one learns how to engage with life in a way that is aligned with their purpose, while remaining free from the constraints of societal pressures, expectations, and limitations. The key to this transcendence is the realization that true power comes from within. It is not something to be seized from the outside or taken by force. It is something that must be cultivated, nurtured, and expressed from the core of who you are. The chosen one recognizes that the more they align with their inner purpose, the less they need to struggle to manifest their desires. They learn to trust that their path will unfold as they remain grounded in their own truth, acting with clarity, patience, and precision. The more they let go of the need for external validation, the more they experience the flow of abundance, clarity, and success that naturally comes when you live from a place of inner alignment. This journey of transcendence does not mean avoiding challenges, running away from difficulties, or withdrawing from the world. Quite the opposite. It means engaging with the world from a place of strength, knowing that you are not bound by its limitations. It is the ability to face life's struggles with equanimity, to make decisions with confidence, and to remain centered in your purpose even when external forces try to sway you. It is the quiet power that comes from knowing who you are, where you're going, and why you're here. The chosen one knows that true freedom comes from the ability to move through life's challenges without being caught up in them. In this final evolution, the chosen one embraces their role as a creator of their reality, a force of influence, and a beacon of light. They stop trying to dominate others or bend the world to their will. Instead, they create their own path, shining their light in such a way that others are naturally drawn to them. The more the chosen one transcends the need for validation, the more they influence the world around them in a subtle yet powerful way. Their presence becomes magnetic, their energy becomes contagious, and their actions ripple through the world with an effect far beyond what they could have imagined. The chosen one has become the master of their own destiny, and in doing so, they inspire others to do the same. As you continue on your own journey, remember that this evolution is not about striving to be more than you are. It is about learning to be fully who you are. It is about embracing your inner strength, mastering your emotions, and stepping into your purpose with unwavering clarity. The chosen one's path is one of transcendence, not by escaping the world, but by engaging with it from a place of mastery. They are not at the mercy of external forces. They create their own world, and they do so with love, purpose, and intention. The journey is ongoing. As you walk the path of the chosen one, remember that transcendence is a continual process of growth, learning, and evolving. It is about becoming more aligned with your true self, more attuned to the rhythm of the universe, and more able to navigate life with grace and confidence. Each step you take, each decision you make, is a part of this greater evolution. You are not simply surviving life. You are shaping it, designing it, and living it according to your deepest purpose. So if you resonate with this journey, if you feel the call to step into your power and embrace your true purpose, stay ready, keep learning, keep evolving. This path of transcendence is not for the faint-hearted, but for those who are willing to rise above the limitations of the world and create a life that is truly their own. Subscribe and hit the bell, because the journey ahead is one of greater depth, greater power, and greater fulfillment than you can even imagine. The time for your transcendence is now. Keep moving forward because the best is yet to come.